My name is Cathrine Edlinger-Kunze, and I am an artist at Jones and Terwilliger Galleries in California, Carmel and Palm Desert. And I would like to invite you to my next show in Palm Desert in February. And I will be present at the opening on the 17th. So I would love to say hi to you and maybe give you an extra tour. I start with a color and very intuitive that morning when I walk into the studio. It's all about mood. In order for me to be pretty free in my paintings on my approach, I have to have a routine. I step into the studio and I try to leave the other world out of my studio and make it all about what I have been working on the day before. If I'm continuing a painting, if I start a new one, I am usually very excited because there are so many possibilities the painting can go, and that really thrills me. I am not a predictable painter. My process is going back and forth with starting with acrylics to get the first wash down. It dries pretty fast and it gives me a very nice painting ground for the oils later on. All my paintings, they have the main theme of love. Sometimes it's strong, easy love, and sometimes it's hard, like just life. And so those two figures having a really special relationship. I'd like to talk about a couple of my paintings. This has the title A Full Moon and a Fantasy, and it shows figures, but they are just symbolizing a feeling of yawning and of love. I start with very earthy colors that you see on the bottom, and then I develop my painting and I put more fresh colors along the way. What's in your heart? I do see an angel that was not intentionally, but it's almost like a figure to that young girl. It could be a mother, it could be a mentor, someone who takes her by the hand and shows her the right way. So what's in your heart? So she's stepping on this white, very fresh little rectangle in the right corner. And I want to show that all the possibilities are still with her. Even though she leaves some fun parts behind, that's the balloons, and she follows this mentor or the mother or the angel, and she's listening. And that's very important to me to show, and that's very important in the painting. She isn't doing anything, she's listening, and she lets this other person lead her and show her different ways. It's an enrichment if you are able to listen. The right music that reflects the mood I'm in. It's two very key points to start at my studio, and I am trying to be really free with how I work and what I'm putting on my canvas, but it's very important to have a routine for me. When I step into the studio, usually with a really good cup of coffee. The painting for Your Half of the Sky goes together with this one, which has the same title, but I just named it number 2. It's all about different people getting together and living in harmony together, not despite their differences, but because of their differences. Those marks in charcoal,
that interrupt the flow of the paint in a way, to make a stop to things, are part of my process.
I do not use models in my paintings. I do a lot of figure drawing from the live model in those sessions, but I like to keep my paintings, the feelings that reflect from my canvas rather than reflecting from the model. My paintings are universal, even though I portray more women in my work than men, but since I try to bring my feelings together with whatever the canvas gives me, it's easier for me to see it from the perspective of a woman, of course. But the message is love, compassion. I work through hard times through my paintings, and good times or lighter times. It all depends on my situation that I am living, because everything that you feel, you actually see. You reflect your feelings and you see the world around you with this feeling inside. So the way I approach my painting is sometimes more intense, sometimes lighter. My paintings change within the making. Sometimes I crop the painting with just the essential part. I very often crop my paintings. That's why I like to stretch them after a certain way into my painting, when I know what the composition gives me and what the meaning of the people or even one person means. Sometimes I have someone who plays the main role in my painting, and it's a constant dialogue that I have with those people and the elements in a painting. They all start nude, and I dress them accordingly as soon as I know who they are. Like this one, the Phoenix, is a very dear painting, and you see that she is almost floating, even though she has her feet on the ground. This face symbolizes love, trust, and endurance. Never give up. It's all about composing this space with color. And then as soon as I find my way into the painting, that means as soon as I see something that catches my eye, like an arm that I recognize in the shape, because it's all shapes that we see, then I follow this impression with charcoal, and then back and forth acrylic charcoal. And at one point I will take over and stretch the painting in the size, because at that point I can see where it's going. And then I start my process with oils, also layering a lot to create this depth.